We're live. Hello. Welcome to the big finale.
The grand finale.
The grand finale of our, not of our streaming shows, but of our Beatles mini-series within the weekly streaming shows. And we started with 1963 and 64. Then we did 1965 and 66. Last week we did 67 and 68. And today we do 1969 and 1970. We always rely on you while we're doing our introduction to let us know if you're getting sound and sight so that we can make sure that our quality is on target. And if you're here for the first time, welcome. Like I said, we do this every week. This is our 46th week, which is interesting because it's also the first weekend of the administration of the 46th president, and we absolutely planned that out.
Right from the very beginning.
From week one.
Yeah. All year.
But if you're here for the first time, please, if you're on YouTube, hit that little icon down there, and that will subscribe you to our channel, and then hit the bell. That way you'll be alerted whenever we put up a new video. And if you'd be so kind right now, all y'all, hit the thumbs up like button on YouTube, because that improves the quality of our stream. Miraculously somehow. And it says looking and sounding good on YouTube.
Great.
If you're on Facebook, join us on YouTube because we have all previous 45 episodes archived there, including a lot of specialty shows. And stay tuned through the whole show today because along the way we will tell you what our theme is for next week.
Are we going to pass 500 songs this week?
Oh, yeah. I should mention that. So I misspoke last week. I said we played our 499th different song since we started. Actually, I was wrong. I calculated wrong. We played our 496th song last week. So our
fourth song.
So our fourth song will be the 500th different song we played.
Okay.
Our brains are expanding, and they hurt a lot. My brain hurts. I have to say, I mentioned this on the chat. I am very excited about the show and absolutely petrified of it because this is the Beatles at their most complex.
Their music kept getting harder as they went along.
Yeah.
Well, because they were pushing themselves.
Sure they were, yeah. And but we decided to start off with a couple of fun songs that are relatively easy just to sort of warm ourselves up.
This is a jam-along kind of song,
It is a
right?
jam-along song. It's in the key of G, if you're playing along. And the bridge has a B-flat in it. So don't worry about that.
Yeah.
And we're going to, as all of our shows are, these are all requests. We got all these requests in advance. And I couldn't possibly tell you all the names of all the people who requested because each song got many
It turns out the Beatles are
They're very popular, yeah.
Who knew? I had no idea.
But we'll start off. I'm going to read a few of these. Ricky 12, that's Ken, our friend Ken in Sweden. Pete and Lisa in New Jersey. Your sister Chris Kennedy asked for this. Claire Mortlock asked for this. My homie Dana Bond asked for this. Our Ohio friend Frank Harchie asked for this. Our very old friend Harry Keats from Massachusetts asked for this. And Steve Gibson did. And probably lots of others.
It's a perfect duo song, right?
It is. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Of us riding nowhere, spending someone's hard-earned pay. You and me Sunday driving, not arriving on our way back home. We're on our way home. We're on our way home. We're going home. Sending postcards, writing letters on my wall. You and me burning matches, lifting latches on our way back home. We're on our way home. We're on our way home. We're going home. You and I have memories longer than the road that stretches out ahead. Two of us wearing raincoats, standing solo in
home.
We've just
Don't go home
begun.
yet. You are home.
You're home every Sunday. Here
You
we
get
are.
to go to a concert without leaving home.
Now, this next song, we're going to dedicate this to Pedro Serra-Leva. Pedro Serra-Leva, who asked for this, and Rosemary Dolan O'Neill asked for it too. I love this song because when I was a little kid, my dad had a colleague at Le Moyne College in the English department, Dr. Novelli, and there were 7 kids in our family and 8 kids in their family. We sort of meshed age-wise, parts of us did, but we always went over there. We went over there maybe a couple times a month, and there was always a big pot of chili on the stove. That's where our song Southern Jumbo comes from.
Yep.
But all the kids, there were acoustic instruments everywhere, basses, mandolins, lots of guitars, upright piano that was out of tune, and the Boudreaux and the Novellis jammed all the time.
jamming.
And the two artists that we jammed on most were Johnny Cash songs and Chuck Berry songs. And this next song we're going to do is one of the songs that we jammed on with the Novelli. And I always thought this song was a Chuck Berry song.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
In fact, it starts just like "You Can't Catch Me."
Yeah.
It's got the intro, the Beatles. And I'm so glad Pedro asked for this song.
Yeah.
Pedro Serra-Leva, because DC, where I come from, has this great rockabilly scene. He's one of the best rockabilly guitar players in DC. So, and this is a rockabilly Beatles song.
And I
so-
imagine Pedro and a bunch of you are jamming along at home. This is in B. I slap a capo on it and play it in A.
Play it in
'cause
A on
it's just
capo
3
too,
chords.
yeah.
That's all. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Baby says she's traveling on a 1 after 909. I said, move over, honey, we're traveling on that line. I said, move over once, move over twice. Come on, baby, the feet hold his eyes. Said she's traveling on a 1 after 909. Well, I begged her not to go, and I begged her on my bended knee. Only fool around with me. I said, move over once, move over twice. Come on, baby, the beat hold his eyes. Said she's traveling on a 1 after 909. Well, picked up my bags, run to the station. The railman says they got the wrong location. Hey, picked up my bags, run right home. Then I find I got the number wrong. Well, baby said she's traveling on the 1 after 909. I said, move over, honey, we're traveling on that line. I said, move over once, move over twice. Come on, baby, the beat hold his eyes. I said she's traveling on the 1 after 909. Oh, get it, beat. Well, picked up my bags, run to the station. Railman says I got the wrong location. Hey, picked up my bags and run right home. Then I find I have the number wrong. Well, baby said you're traveling on the 1 after 909. I said, move over, honey, you're traveling on that line. I said, move over once, move over twice. Come on, baby, the beat holds his eyes. Said she's traveling on the 1 after 909. Said she's traveling on the 1 after 909. Said she's traveling on the 1 after 909.
You knew
Isn't that
was
fun?
coming.
I love that. Well then. Oh, I'm gonna switch guitars. Somebody asked a few times. People ask why we switch guitars, and well, that's a rockabilly song. Great for one of these babies. Nice. Gretsch. F holes like in a violin, purely for decoration. But this next song is a more of an acoustic guitar kind of song. It requires a fuller sound. And so I'm going to play this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, oh, Pedro didn't ask for that one. Pedro asked for this one. I got it all wrong.
Oh, okay.
This one.
He's still one of the best rockabilly guitar players
He
in
is,
DC.
but he asked for the sensitive song.
not
Well,
gonna-
actually, a lot of folks asked for George Harrison.
I'm not going to change my tribute to Pedro just because we had him on the wrong song.
You had a good tribute to Pedro there. While you're tuning, I will remind everyone that this is our one gig, all week, all year, and it's always free to watch and enjoy, jam along with at home. And for those of you who are able and willing, we do accept tips to lots of different places. Let's see, we can send you over to PayPal, paypal.me/the Kennedys Music. And you can donate that way on your phone, or you can also send us tips. We love getting mail. We love getting actual hard copy mail because because we read them all, we save them all, and we respond to them all.
We correspond.
Yeah, we have actual correspondences.
I like that.
Correspondences or what's plural? Correspondi.
Correspondum.
Correspondum.
Yeah,
Correspondulum.
that's the Latin.
And so you can do that. And we have Venmo too. Venmo.com/the_Kennedys. Or you can just go to our website. There's a whole tip jar icon on the website, and all the various tip jar options are there. But again, optional. It's all optional. We love that you're here, and that's the main thing for us. Okay, so
This song got a lot of requests.
it did. Oh, I gotta remember how it goes. This is one of those difficult songs. This is where I start getting terrified. Oops, I gotta take that off of there. Let me take that off of there so you have to look at it. Okay. Ready? George Harrison song. I will send this one out also to Joanne Corsano. She's always asking for George Harrison songs.
Yeah, Abbey Road's when George really locked
Yeah.
in.
Ready?
Yep, here we go.
3, 4. Something in the way she moves attracts me like no other lover. Something in the way she woos me. Don't want to leave her now. Though I believe in how. Somewhere in her smile she shows that I don't need no other lover. Something in her style that shows me don't want to leave her now. Though I believe in how. You're asking me, will my love grow? I don't know. I don't know. Stick around now, it may show. I don't know. I don't know. Something in the way she knows. All I have to do is think of her. Something in the things she shows me. Don't want to leave her now. No, I believe in how.
We made it.
That's a hard one for me.
Yeah.
That's really hard.
There's parts of that song where when you get past him, you breathe a sigh of relief.
I know.
The scariest thing is that Sometimes it ends on a C,
I
and
know.
other times it ends on an A.
And
And
you
if
know,
you
when
get
I-
it wrong, it sounds like this. It literally,
it's like clown laughter.
yeah. But we made it.
We made it.
All the way through.
Yes. Yay, George.
What a great song.
All right. You nailed it, Pete. Yeah, fantastic. See, Joanne
Also,
liked
that
one.
solo. The thing about the Beatles, like a lot of their guitar solos, you have to like play the same, because it's written into the song.
Yeah,
You got to have that.
you got to.
You can't just go like, play a bunch of licks. It's got to be that part.
Okay, now this next one we're going to do, we're sending this one out to a few people. Herbert Klingbeil in France asked for this, as did Dan Unger, and Matt Gleason asked for this. And I think, I know Matt is into beat poetry. This is kind of a beat poetry sort of song in that I think what John was doing when he wrote this, he was doing some word association, is the best I can figure. And we can talk about that on the other side of this song. We'll, it's in D minor. Most of it's D minor if you want to jam along. There's some A's and G's in here too, and a rogue B minor.
Road.
Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Here come old flat top, he come grooving up slowly. He got juju eyeball, he won holy roller. He got head down to his knees. Got to be a joker, he just do what he please. He wear no shoe shine, he got toe jam football, he got monkey finger, he shoot Coca-Cola, he say, I know you, you know me. One thing I can tell you is you got to be free. Come together right now over me. He back production, he got Walrus Gumbo, he got Oh No Sideboard, he want Spinal Cracker, he got feet down below his knees. Hold you in his armchair, you can feel his disease. Come together right now over me. Come on, Pete. He roller coaster, he got early warning, he got muddy water, he won mojo filter, he said 1 and 1 and 1 is 3. Got to be good looking 'cause he's so hard to see. Come together right now over me. Come together, yeah.
That's a groove, man.
That's a groove. That's a good
That's a
groove.
groove. It's a haunting groove.
Yeah. So I suppose I could Google. Maybe there's already discussion about this, but I definitely see word association in this song because he got Juju Eyeball. He won Holy Roller, so you got the ball and the roll,
roll, yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
Wear No Shoe Shine, Toe Jam Football, Shoe Foot, Monkey Finger, Trigger Finger, maybe Shoot Coca-Cola, Shoot Coke, Shoot Coca-Cola. It's just this ongoing.
Also, Muddy Waters and Mojo Filter, because
Yeah.
Got My Mojo Working was
But
Muddy
also,
Waters.
yeah,
big
and then
song.
there's an internal one, Mojo filter, like Joe, like coffee, a coffee filter. I mean, I could be over analyzing, but
Also, the football is a reference to the NFL playoffs, which are on right after our show today.
oh really?
Yeah.
Well,
Lennon
we better
knew
not
that.
run overtime.
That's Lennon knew when he wrote this song.
Okay.
He was a prophet.
That never occurred to me. This next one is one that. Have I been playing this acoustic guitar all along?
It sounded good, though.
It did.
Sure.
I wasn't planning on playing, but I was planning on playing
Keep
it on
rocking
this song. My guitars, because I only see them on my periphery, and they're both red, so not really. I just
This is one of those great McCartney ballads, right?
Yeah, and it's one of those another tricky one. This is one I remember when it came out, thinking it sounded like. It didn't sound like the Beatles to me. It sounded more like I don't know, like a Helen Reddy or like some kind of like a very 70s arrangement, and we owe that to Phil Spector, who passed away last week. But I remember when I was young, maybe an old teen or a young 20-something, and the movie Give My Regards to Broad Street came out, the Paul McCartney movie, and that's the first time I'm pretty sure, unless my memory is a little off, which happens now. But I believe that he put this song in that soundtrack without all the strings in the choral. And it's such a great song, just stripped down.
Yeah. It did come out a couple of years ago. Let It Be Naked, it's called.
It did. But
Without the Phil Spector production wall of sound stuff.
someone can correct me or corroborate. I think that this had a sparsed out version in the Give My Regards to Broad Street movie.
Yeah. And when you hear it without the choirs and stuff like that, you realize it's another great McCartney
Oh, yeah.
ballad, going back to like Yesterday and Here, There, and Everywhere and everything. It follows right along. It's a great song.
All right. Ready? This is another
Yeah.
one I'm afraid of. 2, 3, 4. The long and winding road that leads to your door will never disappear. Seen that road before. It always leads me here. Lead me to your door. The wild and windy night that the rain washed away has left a pool of tears, crying for the day. While
know what
made
makes that song sound like the 70s?
What?
This chord.
Boom, boom. It's like a Carole King thing.
Yeah, Carole King did that. James Taylor did that.
Yeah.
It became like the chord of the 70s.
Yeah, that's right.
But,
Well, it's
yeah.
1969,
It's a
70. It's
great
right
song.
there. In fact, we talk about this album being kind of a fortune teller's glow, like a, what do you call it? The glow, when you look into the crystal ball, thank you.
Crystal ball.
Into the future of music. You can hear just about every kind of music that followed the Beatles for the next at least 10 years came
Yeah.
out of this album.
Everybody listened to Abbey Road and were like grabbing ideas from every song. It had such great production, and in fact, when I saw the Four Seasons in the early 70s,
Mm-hmm.
and they did that song, "The Long and Winding Road."
Wow.
Frankie
Wow.
Valli didn't sing it; a different season sang it.
How did they do it? Did they
think
have
it was
harmony,
early
oohs and
spring
ahs
who
and
sang
stuff
it.
like that? Or
Yeah, yeah,
Did the thing?
yeah. It was
be
nice.
interesting
You
to
can
see.
imagine them doing it.
Well, you know, a good song can be interpreted any old way. If it's a really good song, it can stand any kind of treatment. Let's see. We're gonna do this. Did I mention that we send that out to Dave and Lenny?
Yeah.
Did we say that? And John Shell. Also, Teresa Marsick asked for that. Ian McNean, I always get that wrong, asked for it. And Roberta Fisher asked for that song too.
Yeah.
But we are going to.
We're gonna go up on the rooftop.
We're gonna go up on the rooftop.
We're gonna
It's
go
cold.
into the
It's cold and
rooftop.
windy out there. And this is another one that you could probably jam along to. Who asked
Yeah.
for this one? Mark Smith asked for Sam and Bonnie, Steve Knobloch, and Gene Elbert all asked for this.
Key of A.
Key of A.
Easy chords.
Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Jojo was a man who thought he was a loner, but he knew it wouldn't last. Jojo left his home in Tucson, Arizona, for some California grass. Get back, get back, get back to where you once belonged. Get back, get back, get back to where you once belonged. Get back, Jojo. Get back, get back, get back to where you once belonged. Get back, get back, get back to where you once belonged. Get back, beat. Sweet Loretta Martin thought she was a woman, but she was another man. All the girls around her said she's got it coming, but she gets it while she can. Get back, get back, get back to where you once belonged. Get back, get back, get back to where you once belonged. Get back, Loretta. Go home. Get back, get back, get back to where you once belonged. Get back, get back, get back to where you once belonged. Keep going. Keep going. You made me snort. He works it
Yep.
all. He works every aspect of that guitar. That was fun.
I like doing that song.
Yeah.
I hope we pass the audition.
This
But I love this song.
I love this song too, and we're gonna send this this is a very special dedication because we got a letter from a dear friend of ours, and we've known her for a long time, but we didn't know this about Liz. Liz Freeman's sister was named Nan, and way back in 1972, she was a college student. She was only 20 years old, and she was participating in a picket line in Florida, and she was striking with some sugarcane farmers.
It was part of the Cesar Chavez national
Workers'
movement.
rights, yeah, workers' rights and all that. And she was killed on that picket line, just a 20-year-old college student. And tomorrow would be the 49th anniversary of that horrible event. And so Liz asked us to sing a song in memory of her sister Nan, and we thought this would be the perfect one.
Yeah, yep.
What a dedication and a gift of a person's life for a cause greater than themselves. It's something that goes out into the universe and stays there.
Yeah, and it's a song that John wrote specifically as a charitable effort in that case, it was for the World Wildlife
Yeah.
Fund. So we'll send this out to Liz's sister. You're going to play too, right?
Oh, I'm going to play too. Thanks, Pete. Ready?
Yeah.
2, 3, 4. Words are floating out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither while they pass, they slip away across the universe. Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my open mind, possessing and caressing me. Jai Guru Deva. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Images of broken light which dance before me like a million eyes. They call me on and on across the universe. Thoughts meander like a restless wind inside a letterbox. They tumble blindly while they make their way across the universe. Jai Guru Deva. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Sounds of laughter, shades of earth are ringing through my open ears, inciting and inviting me. Limitless, undying love which shines around me like the million suns and calls me on and on across the universe. Jai Guru Deva. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Jai Guru Deva. Jai Guru Deva. Jai in memory of Nan.
Might
Yeah.
be John Lennon's most beautiful song, although there's
It's my favorite
Stiff
Beatles
competition
song.
for that.
It's my favorite, and I love. And there's so many different eras of the Beatles and all, but that song,
yeah.
it gets me here.
If John Lennon was just a guy who had done that, put out that one song,
Yeah,
it would still be a classic song. He'd be remembered for that.
and yet he also wrote Imagine.
Yeah, and In My Life,
And
and A Day in the Life,
and et cetera, et cetera.
etc., etc.
We're gonna do a song, another George Harrison song,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and send this out to. I want to tell you. Robbie White asked for this. Jen Lennox asked for this too. Hey Jen, a bunch of people did. But Sheena, my old homie Sheena, said that this has always been my "That's Okay" song. When things are really, really bad, really bad, somehow that always comes on randomly on the radio.
Ah.
And Walt Taylor also asked for it and asked us to dedicate it to our new administration. So I think that's all good stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It's in a high register.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw the Beatles, George played his Epiphone 6-string most of the time, but he did one of his songs, "If I Needed Someone."
Yeah.
And he picked up the Rickenbacker 12-string, and he had a capo all the way up on the 7th fret, which is really high, and it got that particular sound that's also in this song.
Oh yes.
But something occurred to me.
Oh yeah.
It's way up here.
That's such a pretty sound.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what else occurred to me? I think it was when I saw Bon Jovi doing it the other night. And they did a really nice version of it. And I thought that sound is really familiar. And it occurred to me that if you put a capo on this fret, you get ukulele tuning.
Register, yeah.
Yeah. You're in the ukulele range and actually the same
will you
tuning.
play this on the uke?
That's what I was thinking, because
Oh, we
George
should do
is
that.
like the uke guy of the Beatles.
You know, when we used to be on the road a
that.
year ago and more, there's this place, I don't know if it's even there anymore, but down in Southern Virginia, it was a guitar shop. And the front of the shop looked like a regular guitar shop, but if you went in the back, it was filled with two things. Tweed amps, like as many tweed amps as you can imagine in your wildest dreams, and ukuleles everywhere.
Yeah.
Remember that place?
It's
What's-
gone now, the Guitar and Amp
Is it?
Center in Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Harrisonburg.
But those ukes are somewhere.
And not
Got a
only
big
that, but
collection.
we used to stop there every time we traveled south on a tour. And I remember talking to the owner years ago, and he said that George Harrison actually went into that store and played some ukes and stuff. Can you
Yeah.
imagine George Harrison making his way through America looking for ukuleles?
George would go anywhere where there were ukes, because
Yeah.
Jim Beloff, Jumpin' Jim,
Yeah, Jumpin' Jim
who
Beloff.
publishes all the uke books, he said when they were living in Los Angeles, that George called them up. I can't remember who went to whose house, but they got together and had a uking
A uke-off.
session. A uke off. Yeah. So let's do it on the uke.
All right, I won't even play it because it'll be prettier all by itself.
Yeah. But if you're playing along, it's an A, and there are parts where you will probably take a short break.
I'm taking a long break on
Because
this.
there is some really interesting rhythmic things that happen in
Ready?
this song. Here we go. Ready? Mm-hmm. You can sing along through the whole thing. Oh, I'm going to finger
That's
pick it.
pretty. Yeah, finger pick.
Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's all right. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's all right. Little darling, the smiles returning to your faces. It seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. And I said, it's alright.
Sun, 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 here it comes.
Sun, 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 here it comes. Sun, 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 here it comes. Sun, 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 here it comes. Little darling, I feel that ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been clear. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I said, it's alright. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I said, it's alright. It's alright.
I felt George in the room. I totally felt George in the room.
I felt George. We were feeling,
Didn't you? You were feeling George.
Feeling us some George.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know how John Lennon wrote this next song. Before we start, I'll tell you, we're sending this out to Jeff Black and Steve Gibson. I don't know how John wrote this song. I think he maybe wrote it at the piano rather than at the guitar.
How do you write like the one after 909 and then turn around and write something that's like Beethoven?
Well, good
You
point.
have to be a Beatle.
Because one after 909, even though it was on one of their, was it last album or their? Well, it's kind of nebulous, like which was recorded first and which came out first. In the very end of the Beatles' career, one after 909 is on that album, but that's one of the very first songs they ever wrote. So that's actually a really great example of the evolution of their songwriting from that song to this one.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to do this. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Because the world is round, it turns me on. Because the world is round, because it blows my mind. Because the wind is high. Love is old, love is new. Love is all, love is you. Because the sky is blue, it makes me cry. Because the sky is blue.
That's like a. How did he do that?
Their range, it just was limitless, really.
I know. Of course, there's more voices on that. We did our own little 2-person arrangement, but wow, the chord structure, the lyrics are perfect John Lennon, right? Perfect John Lennon. But
Yeah.
the chords and the melody, those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot like that.
The sonata.
Where does it go? Anyway,
Anyway, oh, this is fun. This next song, we are going to send this out to somebody very special. I had a text message yesterday from a friend who was a little freaked out. He said, I'm in the hospital with COVID and double pneumonia. And this is our good friend Steve Viola, who we played at his house. He always has a 4th of July party at his house in Massapequa. And
he makes a great eggplant parmesan.
the best.
The best.
In fact, whenever we play at Swing the Teapot in Floral Park, he brings these frozen double portions of eggplant parmesan, and he has promised me for years to apprentice with me, so I learn his method. And I think one of the things that he does is he has a deli kind of meat slicer, so he can slice the eggplant super thin.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was heartbroken to get that message, so I called Steve. I spent about a half an hour on the phone with him yesterday, and he was saying that, when he watches these shows, usually he plays along. He's got a beautiful Gretsch 12-string hollow body, kind of like this one.
Oh, yeah.
He said it's like the Mike Nesmith thing.
Yeah.
And he always jams along with us. But of course, he's in the hospital right now and he can't jam along. So I promised him that we would keep him in our prayers and that we would do a song for him.
They should let him have a guitar in the hospital.
I think it
You're
would get in the
lying
way
down
with
anyway.
it would bump up against the ventilator.
Oh,
We don't want to switch
yeah.
anything off by mistake.
Okay.
So, but we believe Steve will come home soon, and so we're going to send this to him. And you're playing electric on this one, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And sing along. Ready? 2, 3, 4. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right Get well, Steve.
Looking forward to Steve being back jamming with us.
You know, the last thing he did was he has old vintage cars, and he took apart a '55 Chevy's cooling system and put in a new cooling system. That was on Monday, and then
That's
he went
Steve.
to the hospital on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So you got your car to
Nothing
finish up
slows
there.
him down.
I know.
Gosh, so we're at the end of our Beatle miniseries. Of the last song.
Almost. Oh, we should, before we do
Song,
this
this
last song, tell you about next week. We were so moved by that memorial at the Reflecting Pool on the night before inauguration. And it just struck us how that was the first national recognition of everybody's loss and pain and separation and isolation. And it was beautiful. The lights and the everything, the words that the preacher spoke, the song that the nurse sang, and all the music, and so it was healing to us. And we
Yeah.
thought that next week we would like to present a week of songs of healing and renewal and uplift. Of course, all of our shows we strive to be uplifting, but more than ever, next week we're going to have all songs of hope and healing and like I said, renewal.
And we haven't played our own songs in a while
Yeah, and there's a
because
lot
it's
of
been Beatle month.
and there's a lot of folks who discovered the stream because they're Beatles fans. Maybe they're here for the first time. So we're going to do a lot of our own songs next week. And so come back and you'll see what kind of stuff we do, and you'll probably hear some Beatle influence in a lot of
For
our
sure,
songs.
yeah.
But yeah, this one is going to be probably the biggest challenge of our musical lives.
But it's the only way we could
End this show.
end the month.
And the whole month of Beatle-
the four
Beatle music.
The four Beatles shows.
I'm going to
Could
send
only
this,
end with this.
before we do. A bunch of people asked for this or versions of this. Pedro Alaya in Spain.
Yeah.
Joshua Pollock asked for this. Stephen Caskey out west.
Yeah.
Darren DeVivo, our friend Darren at WFUV. Nick Celeste all asked for bits and bobs of this. And we'll see what we can do here. Okay. Once there was a way to get back home. Once there was a way to get back home. Sleep, pretty darling, do not cry. I will sing a lullaby. Golden slumbers fill your eyes. Smiles await you when you rise. Sleep, little darling, do not cry.
We
We did it! Wow, and we only went 2 minutes overtime. Hey, y'all, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
This
you.
was
What a month.
hard.
Yeah.
But we can play every Beatles song now.
It was like getting a master's degree in
no kidding.
composition.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing to really dive into these Beatles songs. So next week,
Songs of hope and healing and uplift and renewal. And please
mask up.
mask up. Even if you get your shots, even if you've had the COVID, mask up. Because you can still breathe it in and then breathe it back out on somebody else. Okay, people, thank you for being here. Please stay safe. Please take care of yourselves and each other. And we'll see you right back here next week. Love y'all much. Love you. Love you. Love you.